What's going on, Colts Nation? It's Elijah from Sports Talk Indy, where we cover all things Colts every single day. And if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe as we continue to grow this community and we continue to put community posts out, get opinions, and really just get to share our thoughts on what the heck the Colts are doing, which seems to be really exciting. I think there's a lot to look forward to this offseason. But before we get to that, the Colts have a very big looming decision coming, and that is whether or not to extend and accept the fifth-year option on defensive end Quitty Pay. Now, if you travel back to me in the 2021 draft, which was a draft to remember, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, all of the everything on that draft was focused on the quarterback. But what may have slid under the radar was that at pick 21, the Indianapolis Colts selected Quitty Pay out of Michigan. And, this at the time was looked at as a really good pick. I don't think it wasn't met with a lot of hate or anything. And I think that for myself included, that we looked at this pick as one that could potentially be really, really good for this team. And so we look at this pick, it was round one, pick 21. But as we've seen with everyone else coming out of that draft, it is now time to figure out if you are going to accept the fifth year option. Now, you may not know this, first year draft picks get in their contract 4 years with a potential fifth year. And this is a team friendly thing that basically says that you get the first 4 years, and then after that, the team gets to decide if they're going to keep you for a fifth year for a guaranteed amount of money. So if the Colts were to accept Quitty Pay's fifth year option, it would then lock him into a $13.4 million contract this year, and I believe the same amount next year. But the problem is Quitty Pay worth $13.4 million? I will let you be the judge of that. I'm not going to pretend to say, I'll give my opinion after I read some statistics, right? So in 2021, he had 15 games played for 32 total tackles, 16 solo, 16 assists, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and that was pretty much the only, for a defensive end, that's the only metrics that really matter. So you kind of expect lower numbers. 4 sacks isn't great, especially for a first round defensive end. And so then you go to 2022. You expect a little bit of a drop off, or a little bit of a slow start. Maybe we had, whoever was on that line as well. 2022, he had 12 games played, so 3 less than last time due to injury. 45 total tackles, 32 solo, 13 assists. Not bad for a defensive end. 6 sacks and 1 fumble recovery. Again, not really what you expect from a first round pass rusher. 2023. So this is like your third year in. You're expecting like this is when he settled in. And he did have a lot better year. He had 16 games played, which is really good. 52 total tackles, 31 solo, 21 assists. That's a lot better numbers. 8.5 sacks, which is good, and then 2 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries. That's all good. Like, I think that's what you expect. But is it worth $13.4 million? So here's where the Colts ranked as far as pass rush goes, and this is based on the win rate of pass blocking and run blocking. In pass blocking, the win rate was 52%, which is 26th in the league. And then run blocking, they beat the block 71% of the time, which is 11th in the league. So a lot better as far as that goes. But again, you're talking about is this, and then you also look at who ranked in the league. So that can be accredited to any number of people. So then you look at of the defensive ends, who won, who was like ranked high, and Quitty Pay was ranked 130th. No, I'm sorry, he was ranked 33rd in the league. And then you had Samson Mbakum, who was actually 16th in the league. So almost top half in the league. He alone had a 19%. And beat the double team 16% of the time, which is really, really good. I mean, you're talking like Micah Parsons is 35, Myles Garrett's 29, Will Anderson Jr. 23, and then you really drop off into like the 14s, which is TJ Watt, Jadeveon Clowney's 25. So that's what you get on double team wins. But yeah, Samson Ibaka, and on this list isn't even listed Quitty Pay. And you were talking about going back to sacks. The sack rate, 8.5 sacks this year, was 33rd. Solo tackles was more than 150th, so they stopped ranking them at 150. Forced fumble, he was tied for 31st. And obviously no interceptions. So the question then remains, do you believe that is consistently getting better. 4 sacks, 6 sacks, 8.5 sacks, which are really what you judge an edge rusher on. I mean, yeah, tackles are important, but really a lot of times you're not expecting them to get as many tackles, and he did improve. Every year he improved on the total tackles and solo and assists. So he did show improvement. But the question then remains, are you willing to lock him into a 2-year deal, basically? Are you willing to say we're going to take him for a 4th year and a 5th year? Or this is probably what's going to happen. And this deadline is tomorrow. I'm recording this on May 1st. On May 2nd by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the deadline to extend or to not extend him is listed. I don't know that he's worth keeping for $13.4 million. For reference, of defensive end contracts, 13.4 should get you a top 15, top 10 defender in the league. Probably more like 15 now because the market is adjusting. I will say that. But is Quitty Pay going to be the defensive end of the future that we hoped he would be? He's only 25 years old, born in 1998, 6'3", 265. So everything about him screams that he should be a good defensive player. But one thing that we've noticed upon watching film is his hands aren't there. He seems to give up a little earlier on blocks, and really just doesn't seem to have and carry that like you would hope him to be. Now we do have a unique opportunity because with Laiatu Latu, we now have that elite pass rusher. So is what Quitty Pay is going to do, is he going to rank high enough in the run blocking area? Or is this why Ballard bolstered a defensive interior in the 3 guys that he signed, not including the one he drafted and one that he signed as an undrafted free agent? So you're talking about the potential of either you let him play this year at an unguaranteed amount of money, that's more incentive based, which is basically the same contract he's had for the past 3 years, and see where he's at the end of the year, or you have to lock him in now. The risk with not locking him in now is he's going to have an absolute breakout year, and then he gets to hit the free market as of the end of this year, beginning of next year. But based on what I'm seeing from him, it doesn't seem like he's going to be one that's going to be worth, sitting or having for a whole nother year, as opposed to or not keeping him for a whole nother year. Obviously there's no other option, but we have until tomorrow to lock him into his 5th year deal. And I'd be okay if this deadline comes and goes and we don't see them accept the 5th year option. And then maybe you bring him back. If he's good this year, has a good season, bring him back next year. I don't know that I'm expecting him to have as big of a year that would warrant any risk at the end of this season in not signing him. Basically what I'm saying is, I don't know that his ceiling is high enough that he would warrant anything more than a $13.4 million contract. But if we're going to continue to beef up this line, and we got Laiatu Latu, we still have Samson Mbakam for at least another year, I think that I'd be okay with letting Quitty, even if he has 15 sacks this year. Just dream with me, 15 sacks. I think I'd be okay with letting Quitty Pay walk, seeing what the market looks like next year, seeing what the draft market looks like next year, and then address it from there. But I also, you also want guys that have been there a while. So I get the points on all sides. My personal opinion is, don't take the 5th year option. I'm okay if that deadline comes and goes, we don't see anything come from it, and we just continue to get him where he's at. So that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments what your opinion is. Should we take the 5th year option on Quitty Pay? Should we let him walk after the year? Should we try and trade him before the trade deadline? Is that where we're looking to go? Are we going to be comfortable enough with Tyquan Lewis, Samson Mbakam, Laiatu Latu? Are we okay with those 3 and then just letting him go? Like that's another possibility. There's another team that might be really desperate for a pass rusher, and if he's got a good first half of the season, and someone's got a cornerback, someone's got a free safety, someone's got something going on that we can help with, I think that I'd be okay letting him walk. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and be sure, like I said, to like and subscribe as we continue to build this community. We'd love to have you. Love to get your input on all things Indianapolis Colts.